One night in Brantford, Ontario, the darling children, Wendy, John, and Michael, were fast asleep in their nursery. Little did they know, their lives were about to change forever. As the moonlight shone through the window, a boy named Peter Pan flew in through the open window. Peter, the adventurous and mischievous boy who never grows up, had come to visit. Peter had heard Wendy's bedtime stories about faraway places and wanted her to come with him to Neverland, a magical island full of adventure. He also brought along his faithful companion, Tinker Bell, a tiny, fiery fairy who had a knack for causing trouble. Peter promised that Wendy, John, and Michael could have a grand adventure, where they could fly, fight pirates, and explore a land where nothing was ever quite what it seemed. With the help of some magical fairy dust, Peter sprinkled the children with the shimmering powder, and they all began to float. Together, they flew out of the nursery window and soared over the rooftops of Brantford, toward the stars and off into the unknown. However, little did Peter and Tinker Bell know, they were committing a grievous crime. When Mr. and Miss Dowring woke up, they found an open window and their children's beds empty. Immediately, they called the police. Upon arrival, the police swept the room.
Oi, there's pixie dust everywhere,
Said one of the officers.
There's only one fairy that uses pixie dust.
Says the other officer.
It's Tinker Bell.
The officers also interviewed Captain Hook, who was a witness, and testified saying he saw Peter Pan at around 10:30 p.m. with the children and Tinker Bell. Later that day, the police officers made their way to the court. They presented and swore their information to the judge. The judge then ordered a summons for Tinker Bell to appear in court. A few days later, Tinker Bell made her way to the police station. She swore it wasn't her, and it was Peter that was behind it all.
Peter made me come.
She exclaimed.
He forced me to use his pixie dust on those kids.
With this new information, the police went back to the judge with the new information. They presented their newfound evidence and showed that Peter Pan would not come willingly to court, so the judge issued an arrest warrant. Without delay, the police officers took off to Neverland. They found Peter on the Jolly Roger, engaged in a duel with Captain Hook.
Peter Pan. My name is Officer Mabel. Peter Pan, you were under arrest for possession of amphetamine and 3 counts of child abduction. You have the right to consult a lawyer without delay and to be informed of that right. If you cannot afford a lawyer, legal aid and duty counsel are available to provide legal assistance. You have the right to remain silent. You are not required to say anything. Anything you do say can be used as evidence in court.
Peter was arrested and promptly apprehended. The children were finally allowed to return safely home and lived happily ever after.